What is going on, guys? This is Skyhound, also known as Xavier Pierce, Geek Archivist. So the trailer just dropped for Evernight the day before we get the update, because we know tomorrow's the update. We have a certain amount of time before it finishes, then we're compensated with 600, resources though in order to get some tickets. But they just dropped the trailer already. As you can see here, I'm gonna be watching the Japanese dub. No disrespect to the English voice actors. Most of us have our preferences. There are certain things that the English voice actors do well on, but considering, past events, which I'm not going to elaborate on, there is a reason why some players prefer other languages. Now, keep in mind, they didn't have any voice actors for the Trailblazer at the start of Amphorius. Whether you're playing as Kalis or Stele, they had nobody doing the English one, which is why you will notice in Chinese, Japanese, and Korean, they had voice actors. You get the point. But anyway, I know the hype for this one's really interesting. As you can obviously see here, the earrings on Evernight, it's in reference to her ability. I like the fact that it shows here red, but my guess is going to be showing a bit of black and red because that's, her motif. That's the style of the character. With that being said, let's get started on this. Okay, now that's interesting, the way you would go. It's not showing the face. Okay, now that's going to be really cool. The music reminds me of something. Okay, the mannequin thing is definitely creepy. It's kind of like a cat and mouse situation here. And Evernight is in total control. 夜が来るから任せて。あんたは何も失わない。私がいる限り。知ってる？あんたは。I love the transition. 目を開けたら。私を忘れて。This is so good. それがあんたにとって一番なの。Whoa. Okay, I apologize if the volume was a little bit loud there, but it was hard to hear. But anyway, I like the music of it. It definitely gave me some Madoka-like vibes. I have not played games like Silent Night, but there are other horror games that kind of have a similar aspect to what we saw here. So I'm just going to backtrack just a tad bit. So like right around at this point, as you can see, again, the way how they're pulling this off, it's kind of like a whole, again, cat and mouse situation right around here. So she's trying to run and escape, then you see one of those things come up and she's like, don't worry, I got you. Now, like I said with this, there are certain times where the translation's a little bit off because, again, going by the English subs here, but when you hear characters go makasete, it usually means leave this to me. And usually when you hear, because it said here on the subtitles, don't be scared. In Japanese, it's kowakunai. That's roughly what it means. Kowakunai means roughly don't be scared, don't be afraid. But here she uses makasete. So again, you see the difference in terms of why when you're going by subtitles and you're not familiar with the language, I know I'm a beginner, but even I can pick up certain nuances, just like the natives. But anyway, here's another thing that really caught my attention here. Give me 1 second here. Oh, that was a few seconds late. It was right around here. And around here. Right here. This part right here. This, I really love the art on this. How it shows a mirror and the whole thing. Yes, it references Evernight, but you can sort of see there's a small section of it where it's like it's actually March who's literally asleep. But then you see all these other hands. I can tell I'm not the only person here. But remember, if you guys were watching the previous one before this, they mentioned that the Garden of Recollection fears Evernight in terms of the lore. Like, they're really scared of her. And you can sort of see how the hands do sort of like remind you of the ultimate attack of Black Swan. So again, you get that reference right there. I like how they did that. And then right around here. So there's one part here that's really cool. Right here, around the 135-second mark. Most of us kind of already know. If you look at these shards here, you know how they do the whole thing with Ediolans, 1 through 6. It wouldn't surprise me if these are what is going to be used for Evernight. I don't know which one's going to be used for 6, but I do know that some of these are going to be used for 1 through 5. I'm a dolphin. I'm not a whale. I'm not a big spender. So I'm really going to have to rely on my luck in trying to pull for her. But I love the transition when it goes to 2D animation. And then the music really kicks up right around here. Right here, that's where I'm getting the whole Madoka vibe situation. Then it goes back to 3D. And on here, it's kind of like how March was encased in the ice. So I like how it harkens back to that. Now the part where Evernight goes, "Forgetting me was your greatest fortune." I mean, either way, whether you're listening it into your native language or some other languages, that quote really hits differently. But the meaning behind it, I don't care what language it is freaking scary. Like, let's not kid ourselves, people. The way it is delivered, I mean, yeah, it has a different impact. Let's not kid ourselves. I'm watching this in Japanese. It definitely hits different. The line and the meaning behind it. Think about it. Think of how scary that is. That's like, like a dark side, your dark side self telling you your failures, whatnot, and everything else. It's that type of vibe. That's scary. And then, obviously, the part towards the end right here. The switch on the eyes, like, is just... It's crazy. Because, it's going to be a whole, like, split personality disorder type of thing. Where most people are guessing you're going to be getting, both of them fused. That's one theory. Now, while I have not played Honkai Impact 3rd, I'm just going to have to watch videos on it. Most of you guys who have played it know what this trailer for Evernight is referencing. But overall, I really love the vibes. I like the way how this whole thing was executed. I'm going to give my best shot at trying to pull for her. But anyway, for those of you guys who are going to be pulling for Evernight, even if you're going to E6 her, I wish you guys the best of luck in your pulls. In my case, once I do manage to get her, if I do manage to get her, I should say if I do get her, I'm then going to have to save for Cyrene, her actual form. But here's the other thing. If they do drop Hyacine as well, I'll be point blank with you guys. That's going to freaking drain my wallet and my resources in seconds. Because as soon as I get one, I gotta go for the next one. And then I know Cyrene is going to have a lot of drip. It's going to be super hype. But think about it. You have certain Remembrance characters. You got the Trailblazer. You got Castorice. You got Hyacine. You got Aggy. And now Evernight. All of these use memo sprites. So if you are going to go in heavy with the memo sprites, she is one to have. Logically speaking. I'm not kidding here. Because for those of you guys who say you're not going to use her, and yet you have Remembrance characters who use memo sprites, you're kidding yourself. I hate to say it, but you are kidding yourself. You are seriously, not giving yourself a very good opportunity of a really good support. Point blank. But anyway, like I said with this one, this definitely gave a lot of vibes in terms of certain references that some of us know in pop culture. Now, the reason why I mentioned Madoka earlier, for those of you guys who are familiar with the animation production studio Ufotable, already know of, IPs like the Fate franchise. For those of you guys who also took part in the Fate, crossover, I managed to pull for Saber after a certain number of tries, 6 or 7, 70 pulls, around 70 for that. And then singles on the light cone. That is pure luck. Like, I can't stress it enough. But anyway, with the IPs, you got Fate, you got the Garden of Sinners, Kara no Kyokai. Then you also got Madoka Magica, they also did that one, as well as Demon Slayer, just to name certain particular IPs. You get the idea. The way how they pulled this one off, I really enjoyed it. The music is great. The atmosphere is definitely like, you could say All Hallows Eve to an extent. But, considering October is right down the corner, I wouldn't be surprised. But they're starting this part early. And then, of course, the second half, when Danhang Permanence is, we're going to be getting a free one, as they mentioned in the on the announcement for 3.6. Already, it's going to be E0S0 by the time he comes along. Let's not kid ourselves here. Like the same case, with the Fate franchise, when we got Archer. E0S0. Now, for those of you guys who are not familiar, S stands for superimpose, which means even if you get one of the light cones, if you get it the first time, it's still S0. Now, if you get a copy, then it's S1. You get the idea. But that's how it works. That's why the designators are there. But anyway, this has been Skyhound, also known as Geek Archivist Xavier Pierce. Again, I know the update is coming tonight, and then tomorrow we will get our chances at trying to pull for Evernight. I wish you guys the best of luck in your pulls. Stay safe, stay sane, and as a good friend of mine always said, stay humble. Peace.